Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and Eliza Bleu is cracking under the pressure. The amount of cope on her most recent Twitter thread is insane, so I figured we'd go through it together, get a bit of a laugh, and call out where she is being completely insecure and insincere. Let's go through this. Onward to Twitter! My story as a survivor of human trafficking is 100% real, sadly. And it might be. It truly might be. However, we don't know because now your reputation is damaged due to other confirmed lies you have told and issues with the timeline of your human trafficking story. I had nothing to do with the paid PR campaign to destroy me. What paid PR campaign? There's just been news from independent individuals on YouTube, and even to the point of places like, was it The Hill or the Post Millennial? Like, the story's gotten so big that even they are covering it now. It's not a paid PR campaign if it's just news. There was no real reason for me to trend on Twitter on and off for the last 2.5 weeks. Real people who I know and love fell for an op designed to destroy me. That is such cope, an op designed to destroy you. Also, no real reason for you to trend on Twitter for the last 2.5 weeks. You're part of a major news story, part of a major scandal. Being a free speech advocate, then absolutely censoring individuals' free speech. Yeah, there's definitely reason for you to trend on Twitter. You're not who you claim you are. Even if aspects of it is true, even if things are correct in terms of like your past, your backstory, you're still not who you claim you are because of your free speech censorship towards people simply asking questions. There's absolutely a reason for you to trend. Your news. You might not like it, but your news. My finances had nothing to do with my public advocacy for survivors because I've done it all for free. That doesn't seem like a very good business model. If that's the case, how do you get money? How are you able to afford the phone you use to post all these tweets on Twitter? How are you able to, have these buildings that you claim were, advocate safe houses? How do you have the capital to work with individuals who are big in the legal industry, and have you be taken seriously if you do it all for free? What is your source of income if your advocacy is free? There was nothing to cancel me from. The only thing I lost was a Babylon Bee interview, which isn't a huge deal in the world of being a survivor advocate. Alright, so trying to minimize your upcoming interview, the fame it's garnered, nothing to cancel me from. Yes, there is. Your fame. You are going to be canceled from your fame and from your public notoriety because what brought you to fame and what brought you that notoriety very well may be false. When you say there's nothing to cancel you from, look, when Louis C.K. got canceled, homeboy probably still had $250,000 in the bank or, a quarter bill in the bank. Who knows? I don't know what Louis C.K.'s net worth was. Dude was a millionaire. So I'm sure after his cancellation, did it impact his ability to make money further? Yeah, possibly. But he had a nice little nest egg, a nice little cushion. We don't cancel people for financial reasons. Now, I'm pretty anti being canceled. I don't think Louis C.K. should have been, canceled. I've said that a million times. My point is, when people are canceled, it's not because people don't want to see them make money. It's because they don't want to see them. They want their existence just gone. And that's what, not in terms of like death, but their prominence to be taken away. Their platform for espousing ideology taken away. And that's what individuals want from you because you've gone the egregious route of, it looks like, making a mockery of real world issues like sex trafficking for your own benefit. I knew about the op set out to destroy me early on in this scenario. I didn't stop any of you from falling for it, mostly because I was busy working. I didn't stop any of you from falling for it. Really, what do you call what you did to Brittany Venti and The Quartering and The Flash and Camelot? What do you call what you did to all them? I would say that was you trying to stop them from falling for it. I mean, you did it in the most egregious way possible by silencing them, even though you're an advocate for free speech. But you definitely did try and stop at least quite high up prominent individuals in the independent news sphere. People might not like The Quartering, they might not like Brittany Venti, they might not like The Flash. Whether you like those individuals really shouldn't be, part of the equation here. What Eliza Bleu did to them was flex her power on them and get their voices removed. That's wrong, regardless of how you slice your love or lack thereof for those types of creators. So, you knew about this op-ed set out to destroy you early on. Then why didn't you say or do anything? Oh, I'm too busy working. An op-ed that could destroy you, wouldn't that inhibit further work if, you lose everything? This is all just copious amounts of cope. Just a copious cope. Professionals worked on collecting that data and information, and I went on with my life. I lost an interview. That was it. You haven't lost an interview. I mean, yeah, you lost that too, but you've lost so much more. Look at your numbers on Social Blade. You are losing credibility, you're losing followers, which probably means you are losing some sort of financial aspect, whether you want to admit it or not. But more than anything, the credibility is what you should worry about. You didn't just lose an interview. You've lost credibility for a cause that is actually an incredibly important cause. And maybe the work you did was good work. Maybe you actually got some stuff done. I don't know what you got done, aside from retweeting some stuff, but I don't know everything. Maybe there was some stuff on the back end that you did that was actually very, very good and helpful. And now, individuals aren't going to look at you the same and have trouble taking you seriously in the future when it comes to these incredibly important causes, all because of what you've done in the last 2.5 weeks that could have been mitigated by, one, just not censoring Brittany Venti and the quartering, and by two, coming out the gate almost immediately saying it was wrong, my apologies, I withdraw these accusations and these decisions. But you didn't do that. So yes, you are losing a lot more than just an interview. And rightfully so, you did it to yourself. Why would there be an op against me? Look at it again. Really look at it. I'm an ANCAP, anarcho-capitalist, who fights human trafficking. Advocates for Julian Assange, who had a meeting with congressmen begging the FBI and CIA to be brought before a church committee. Okay, so now she's going to be like, say that, oh, there's this big conspiracy against her. Look, Occam's razor. I'm not saying this isn't technically possible, because, hey, conspiracies have shown to be true in the past. You know, the Tuskegee experiments were real, Operation Paperclip, like all these conspiracies, there have been several that turned out to be true. But that being said, when you do the whole Occam's razor route, you know, what's the most likely scenario? The most likely scenario is that you're just a filthy liar and you were trying to cover yourself, and now you're flexing on your power that you undeservedly have to get other people smaller than you reined in, under control, so that you can continue on this warpath of lies. That's what the most likely scenario is. While advocating in public for 2 survivors of Tate, all while having a perceived, not factual, relationship with Elon Musk and Twitter 2.0. No. It is factual you have a relationship with him. The extent of that relationship is what's perceived, but it's factual you have one. You were involved in a Twitter Spaces, you were speaking with him, even if you never met in person, when you're just talking with someone even over the phone, that's still a relationship. You know, over the internet, whatnot, that is a relationship. It might not be a deep personal relationship, but it is a relationship. So the level of how deep that relationship goes, I'll concede, yeah, that is perceived. But when you got Tesla shaved into the side of your head and you're able to get individuals banned even though they did nothing but, you know, go about doing fair use reporting, yeah, it really looks like you've got a much deeper connection to Elon Musk, or at least the people in his right and left ears, and that's not good. In December, I announced that I was shifting gears from Twitter, CSE, to advocating for survivors of the UN. Of course I was someone of interest to destroy. The op will be exposed, so I'm not worried about that, and if you don't believe me as a survivor, I'm not worried about that either. You should be. You absolutely should be worried about that, because this is your brand. This is what you're doing. This is where all your credibility was, and according to you, you've done so much good work in helping other individuals, helping other survivors, helping other, you know, victims of human trafficking. So if your brand and your image is destroyed, how many people is that going to hurt in the future that you could have actually helped by just taking a back seat and saying, hey, never mind, this was wrong, and going about it? The internet wouldn't have cared after 3 weeks to 3 months. You have made this worse, and now, not only is your life destroyed, but if what you're saying, if it's all true, how much you were able to help other individuals, if that is actually factual, how many individuals in the future are you not going to be able to help, because now you're not going to be getting the help from others to prop you up, to give you credence that you've gotten in the past? How many survivors are going to suffer now because of your lies, or because at least your inaction? Now, watch what God can do. You saw the best of what the devil had, and I was left unscathed. You were absolutely not left unscathed. Once again, copium! P.S. Some folks want to know how I'm doing. I survived human trafficking twice, so this current situation wasn't a big deal for me. That's another thing. You survived twice? Look, I read the Timcast article. You got trafficked, which is already exceedingly rare. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, obviously. Of course it happens. But the odds of it happening, when you got 300 million people in this country alone, the odds of getting trafficked aren't exactly in your favor, which is a good thing. But, of course, it can happen. You were one of the unlucky, thousands that it did happen to. What are the odds of that happening twice? Like, that's like being struck by lightning twice. You were trafficked, you get away from the trafficking situation, you're back home with your family, you're relearning to talk and eat and all that stuff you're relearning to do. Then you got trafficked again? All I'm saying is, once again, Occam's razor, the odds, they're not exactly in your favor here, Eliza. Emphasis on the lie part of Eliza. God took that broken woman that you were looking at on the internet in various states of undress and turned me into a woman in a gown winning an award. Yeah, various states of undress. And you know what? It's no big deal. No one cared that you were in various states of undress while you were doing these hip-hop videos and whatnot, speaking with a put-on urban accent. No one cared. We were just curious how this lined up with your timeline, given what you had told us about your past. And now, you took it, you tried to hide it, you tried to suppress it, and you're over here talking about, oh, this conspiracy. You created a bigger conspiracy by shutting this down. If you think people were curious before, they went mad curious after that because they're like, okay, there clearly must be something to hide because she's actively trying to hide it. You couldn't just let sleeping dogs lie. So how am I doing? I'm a little in shock. I was so broken, desperate, lonely, and sad before. I'd almost forgotten how bad off I really was. I'm not anymore. I wish I could tell you that I did that for myself, but I'd be lying. God did that miracle. No human could do that. And once again, I'm obviously I don't have any issue with religion, any issue with putting faith in whatever you want to put faith in. But this is just you trying to pander or give some sort of miracle message, that way you don't come off looking all cocky like I did this myself. You're trying to have a shred of humility, but it's just not showing through. But let's go through some of the comments here because I want to show you how she's getting absolutely roasted. First of all, like by me. You claim you care about free speech, you're a liar, or you would have let Brittany Venti and the Quartering exercise their free speech. If you're lying about being a free speech advocate, why would we believe anything else? You brought this on yourself. I think that's a fair take. Yeah, Yellow Flash just says, liar. J-Rod, who follows me? I follow him, yeah. J-Rod's a dope dude. No one would have given two shits if accounts didn't get locked for asking questions and posting screenshots of publicly available media. And yet here we are. The point goes to J-Rod. He is incredibly correct. No one would have cared had you not taken certain actions that you took that has led to this 2.5-week long rabbit hole when a simple answer, and if you couldn't give a simple answer and had gone through with the bad actions, a simple apology a day or two later would have solved this. Lol, you aren't remotely important enough for anyone to destroy. You're a nobody. Worse, you're a grifter. Nobody cared about you until you used your grift to hurt others that we like a whole hell of a lot more than we ever liked you. There's a little bit of truth here. I would say maybe she's remotely important enough to destroy. She was still doing a lot of work for human trafficking. If what she's saying was true, yeah, that would be an important person to destroy. I mean, look what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Imagine if there were people out there who were advocates and fighting to get him exposed. Well, that was happening. People were being silenced. So I wouldn't say she wasn't important enough for anyone to destroy, but that's if she was being honest this whole time. At what age of a minor's life is it okay for an adult to have sex with them? You seem to think it's okay as long as they consent. This is true. She did say this. There is a little bit of a caveat to it. She was talking about in a government-free utopian world, which, is all theoretical and hypothetical and sounds more intellectual than it is, so I think there was no point in having that discussion. It is now just a soundbite for people to come at you and you look worse about. But yeah, it is still something that she was talking about and bringing up. This individual responds, Eliza, it was at this point that made me back out. There's nothing you can say that will make it somehow reasonable to defend any sexual relations between, as you said, a 13-year-old and somebody many years older. Again, she did say that. There is some context missing, but yeah, she did say that, and the fact that she said that is kind of the point. Is it true the victims of Tate are suing him for money? Yeah, I mean, if they're not coming forward with their names, then it would have to be, from my understanding, you can't criminally, you can't, process criminal charges as as someone who keeps their identity secret. But again, I'm not a lawyer. I could be wrong. So you really want people to believe that Brittany Venti, the Quartering, Yellow Flash guy, and others were all paid off by the U.S. government to take you down? And well, that sounds almost as unbelievable as your Survivor story. And you know what? I think I'll stop it here. This is it. This is the perfect comment. Brittany Venti, the Quartering, and Yellow Flash guy, individuals that have been on the wrong side of the government for as long as I've known about all of them, being paid by the government to take you down? I'm sorry, anyone that has any knowledge of these three know that that's not the case. It is incompatible with the past years of what they have presented themselves to be. Much like how the past years of what you presented yourself to be is incompatible with the truth. I mean, again, hey, technically anything's possible. It's entirely possible that there's some massive psyop out there that's trying to bring you down, and Brittany Venti, the coordinating Yellow Flash, are all getting paid the big bucks to do it. But if that's the case, I would think that we've already seen that Twitter can be infiltrated by the government. Why would they be going with these small fry fishies when they could just infiltrate Twitter again and have you taken down that way? It's already happened once. Why wouldn't it happen before? I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. But that's just my thought process on this whole ordeal. Eliza Bleu she is sniffing them copium fumes and trying to forget this is all happening, trying to save her public image. There is no saving it. The damage is done. The least we can do is hopefully get some truth. Maybe the Cashman article will give us more truth somehow. I do doubt it. It seemed mostly like a fluff piece. But I'll receive judgment until parts 2 and any other parts, subsequent parts after that come out. But let me know what you think about Eliza Bleu. Let me know what you think about this situation. And please do like, comment, subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel while I'm covering something like this. This is big news, but I also love talking about Star Wars, Magic the Gathering, D&D, you name it. There's plenty of videos in the back catalog for you to subscribe to because it's all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.